in. Uh, hey, I'm pleased to be joined by Jason Mangan. Is that how I pronounce your name, Jason?
Yes.
Jason Mangan, new Chief Executive Officer of LHB, an engineering, architecture, and planning firm with offices in Minnesota and Wisconsin. Jason, thanks for joining me today. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. Hey, so tell us when did you start your new role with LHB as CEO?
April 1st, so yesterday, second day on in the new job. So
Wow, so you're brand new on that job.
yes.
And then you succeed Rick Carter, who has been with LHB for a while now, and tell us about that. And you know what? I understand Rick will be staying on as chairman of the board for a
Yep,
while.
Rick's staying on as chairman of the board, and he's got some specific projects that he's been shepherding along and wants to continue working on. So
Great. Well, I've always enjoyed talking to Rick over the years, and so I'm glad that he's still around, and I'm glad that you're on board now as well in this new role. Tell us a little bit about how it sounds like you've been with LHB for quite some time now, since 1998, I believe. You started out as an intern with the company. Tell us about that.
that's correct. I started as a college intern. Mechanical engineering student down at the University of Minnesota, and was fortunate enough to end up with an internship at LHB. I'm a resident of Cloquet. I grew up there, and was looking for an opportunity to get some actual experience in the field instead of just the academic side of it. And opportunity came up at LHB, and I was very fortunate to work a couple summers here as an intern before I finished up college and came back as an engineer.
So tell us about some of the other hats you've worn there at LHB. It looks like most recently you led the energy and industry group.
Yes, prior to being selected as CEO, I was vice president of our energy and industry group. We focus on power and utilities, pulp and paper, mining and manufacturing within that group. So worked in that group for a long time over the years in various different roles. Started out in there as an engineer, or actually as an intern, and worked my way up through the different ranks. Managed projects eventually, and just kind of worked my way through all those. So
Okay. And I know LHB has been known in the past for its work on sustainability and things of that nature. Can you talk a little bit about that and how that shapes some of the work you do and the opportunities you see out there?
absolutely. LHB's long focused on sustainability. Rick has been a champion of that for almost his entire career. So kind of neat opportunity there to continue on with that. I've always been particularly interested myself in efficiency. So from the engineering side of it, how we can be efficient in our systems and things like that. Lots of opportunities out there currently. Electrification of heating sources and all those, geothermal, really able to make buildings efficient in their usage. I guess I would use an example of a house I built about 7 years ago, but square footage energy usage in the house is about 25% of what my previous house was, which was built in the 70s. So lots of opportunity for energy efficiency increases, both in new buildings and retrofitting of existing buildings. So we've got lots of experience in that. Also, lots of expansion of energy infrastructure relating around electrification. So renewables and all those, we still have to get power companies have to get the energy to the homes and to the buildings that we're designing. So lots of opportunities that way. We've been doing a lot of work on substation upgrades and other infrastructure for the utilities specifically, but in preparation of that distribution side to the local communities. So.
And of course, there's some funding sources out there now from the federal government and the state to advance some of these projects. So you expect to stay fairly busy in the coming years on that?
Absolutely, yeah, lots of opportunities, both on the residential and on other building side with all the government funding involved, renewable energy sources, geothermal, solar, all of those have both come down in cost, but the incentives out there from the government are making those projects much more viable than they had been historically. So,
Yeah, so tell us what I guess you're a mechanical engineer. How are you inspired to get into that line of work?
well, I originally thought I wanted to be an architect, but every building I designed was square or rectangular. It's like a shoebox. So, um, fortunately, I had a couple uncles who very quickly corrected me and said, "Well, you like the efficiency side of it, obviously. You should just be an engineer. Don't worry about that." So, um, always strong and enjoyed science and math. So, seemed like to be a good fit to go into engineering. What really did it for me was I got a tour of one of the local paper mills when I was working on a pulp and paper merit badge and when I was in Boy Scouts and walked into the new wood room they had constructed, and it's a big chipping facility. They run full logs through it and debark them and chip them and then send them into the paper process. But my uncle was one of the engineers in the project and had worked on it for a long time. And I just remember walking in there and seeing this really large machinery operating. And I looked at him, I'm like, "This is what you've been working on for the last few years?" He's like, "Yeah, absolutely." And I knew then that's what I wanted to do. So,
Nice. And so you're from Cloquet
yes, I
originally?
am. I'm born and raised in Cloquet.
And how long are you still up there in that area? Are you down in the cities now or?
No, I live in Cloquet still. Work out of Duluth, our office in Duluth, but live in
Okay,
Cloquet.
nice. And the Duluth office was the first office that LHB established, wasn't it? Back when?
Correct. Yes. Yes.
Okay. How many offices do you have now? I know you've been expanding. Um,
Four. We've got Duluth, Minneapolis. We've got an office in Cambridge and an office in Superior, Wisconsin.
and about how many employees do you have?
About 225.
Okay. So what can you tell us about your vision or your goals for the company going forward? Do you see more expansion both geographically and maybe in some of the types of projects you pursue, or what do you see out there for the future?
So geographically, we're pretty close on our offices, but we have a fairly large footprint. We work across about 22 states out of our current officing. I do see opportunity for expansion. Lots of opportunities on repurposing old buildings, revitalization of downtowns. The energy infrastructure build out is a big one I see as opportunities for us. Efficiency updates in buildings. I think those are some of our bigger opportunities.
And what are some of the biggest challenges you see out there? There's been a lot of talk about workforce and things of that nature. Where do you see us heading with the challenges?
Workforce in the engineering and architecture field is difficult. There is not enough candidates for open positions. It's really a challenge. We've been working really hard on outreach. I would say even grassroots outreach. We have lots of staff that volunteer in different capacities at the colleges or at the elementary schools or at the high schools to encourage students to go into the STEM type programs, right? Your
Mhm.
engineering and architecture and sciences. So,
I was just at a forum at the University of Minnesota last night where some college students, my daughter included, were there to talk about their share their thoughts on sustainability and the future of kind of where we're heading with that. And I was impressed with their passion for it and with their knowledge. And this group in particular had toured some sustainable sites, some I guess green energy sites in Germany back in January, and came away with an expanded knowledge base and inspiration to kind of learn from them. And and also to share with them what they had learned here. So I can tell there's a lot of passion for it, certainly in that group of students, and hopefully that'll translate into more an expanded workforce in the
Yep, no, it's
future.
exciting to see that. We've got lots of very talented young people up and coming in the industry, and they're certainly much more open to pushing some boundaries that way that I think historically haven't happened. So it's really encouraging.
So what do you see? What do you like to do in your free time? It sounds like you've been working with the Boy Scouts in the past and things of that nature. What uh wh- what are some of your hobbies or passions outside of work?
I enjoy woodworking. I was able to help mentor one of the local robotics teams this past year, so that was a pretty neat opportunity. I had a lot of fun doing that. Like spending a lot of time in the outdoors, fishing, hiking, camping.
Well, you're in a good place for that up there in Cloquet. Some great,
Absolutely, it's beautiful.
beautiful area up there. So any other thoughts you want to share with me, Jason, as you embark on this new position, brand new in the job? It's got to be pretty exciting for you, I imagine.
It's very exciting. I was very fortunate to land at a company like LHB. They've always been very, I would say, very family oriented. It's kind of like a family run business. It's not a family run business. It's a privately held company, but
Mhm.
it's really based on family values and making sure our employees are taken care of. So um, it's always been very important to me as an employee, that aspect of it, and I certainly want to perpetuate that as we move forward. So,
Great. Any particular projects you want to talk about that you're working on now, or just highlight anything in particular?
and I'll take zero credit for this. This is all Rick and many of our other architectural staff, but they're working on the Heights, a great project down there. I know you guys
Mhm.
have talked about that in the past, so
Yep.
that's a pretty exciting project. So I really want to see how that turns out.
Yeah, that's a very exciting project. What they're talking about, 1,000 housing units and 1,000 jobs created, and on an old golf course site, you can't do much better than that.
No, it's amazing. It should be a really neat outcome if it comes even close to what they're hoping for. So
Absolutely. Well, I hope, Jason, we can stay in touch and good luck on your projects going forward. Good luck in your new job, and it's been fun talking to you.
absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.